Hi, welcome back to my channel, Fabulously Frugal and Fancy, and welcome to our fabulous Christmas series. This series is all about decorating, DIYs, all things holiday and Christmas. I just hope that you enjoy it. Let's go do something fabulous.
Alright, so I started with this sign here. I got this at Hobby Lobby. It was on clearance for pretty inexpensive. And I've had it now for like a year. I wasn't quite sure exactly what I was going to do with it. But then I had this idea for Christmas to make a sign for my kitchen. And first I used the Waverly Crimson. It's kind of a darker red, which I like. And I just start by painting it with the crimson. I end up giving it 2 good coats, especially around the detail around the top. There were lots of little grooves and dents and detail work there, so I really wanted to make sure that that got fully covered. And I just kind of in the top, I just kind of had to like pounce it down into all the little grooves just to make sure it had full coverage. I really like how this turned out in the end. So first I just give it 2 good coats of the red. Had to do 2 because that wording on there didn't show up. It kept showing through just 1 coat, and I didn't want that to show up at all. So, and I guess I'm gonna let you see me paint most of it, even though I thought I cut quite a bit of that out. I apologize for that. But I do end up giving it 2 full coats of this crimson red. My kitchen is done in red and white with the peppermint theme, and I really like how this just adds a nice pop of the red in my kitchen. I just really kind of had to keep pouncing that in there just to get it. Once it was fully dried, I did give it one, well, first I used this white frost. It's kind of like Rub and Buff, but it comes in a little tub instead of the little tubes. It's about the same price as Rub and Buff, and this one's just in a white frost. And I just go over the top parts with all the little details. Just kind of brushing over the top of that so that those details pop, and it also adds the white as well. Then after that's all done, I do go over all of this with a good coat of Mod Podge. I wanted this sealed because it is going to be in the kitchen, and I didn't want anything to, you know, mess with the paint or anything like that. So I did add a little bit of water to this just to make it a little bit more movable and blendable. Then I just used my fingers, as you could see, and rubbed it all in. And then I do, like I said, I seal that with a coat of Mod Podge. I'm just showing that to you there. And then I went on, I have a silhouette curio. And I cut out a design. It says Brandy's Christmas Kitchen, scrumptious meals or savory meals and scrumptious treats. And so I just made this for the back of my stove. And it sits right there. I'll show you how it looks when it's finished. I didn't show me applying the decal that I cut out or anything because it's just, you know, it's just as simple. It's just like if you have the Cricut. I just have a different machine, and it all is applied the exact same way. But here I am. I'm adding a pretty thick coat of the Mod Podge. and just making sure it's in all those grooves. But I didn't want any of the little lines, so I just make sure I smooth it out really well. And that's what I'm showing you here, because I wanted to show you, you know, if you put it on a little thick, because it has to go in there. And then here's the finished project. I really like how this turned out and how it adds just a nice bright pop of red on the back of my stove. I had made this little door hanger with the bells a few years ago, and this one with 2 of the mini wreaths from Dollar Tree. And I hung those on. These doors are to the bathroom and to the basement, and they hang, it's like this little hallway here, all 3 of these doors. And I took this ribbon, I believe I got that at Hobby Lobby last year, and it's like this, I don't know, it's got this weird wire in the middle that makes it twist and twirl. It's really pretty. And so I'm hanging up some of those command hooks, just the white ones here. And again, my kitchen is done in the peppermint theme, and so here I just hang those Dollar Tree peppermint, the candy canes, and then the little peppermints came from Hobby Lobby. They're just like a string with several of the peppermint candies hanging on them. And then I just cut some slits into the ribbon and hung it right over those command hooks, just for a nice little pop of red above this door here, like a little garland. And the way that it, you know, twists itself, I just really like how it turned out there. Excuse me. I am recovering from a cold, so I apologize for that.
And I'm here at the Apple store. It's like all...
Sorry, I don't know if you could hear the commercial in the background. I tried to turn that down. Then I just made little vignettes around the kitchen. This sign I made a few years ago. I just add little vignettes around different things in the counter. There's a little corner shelf that we use that holds our oil and so forth. And then I use these clear plastic plates from Dollar Tree, and I painted peppermints on them, added a little bit of glitter, and I hang these on my cabinet doors. As you can see here, I just use double-sided mounting tape, and I hang them on the cabinets. This garland here, I did hang it this time, but I made it 2 years ago. This is just another vignette, and that's actually in my bathroom. I apologize, it was a little quick there. Switch rooms. Now I had this tray. We're moving on to the dining room, and this sign with the little trees on it and so forth, and I used this gold spray paint, and I also did the snowflake, that snowflake there too. Painted them all with that gold spray paint. And this was hung with twine, but in my dining room I kind of have like a pink, gold, champagne colored, like just a glam design in my dining room. My dining room does sit off the kitchen, but it is a separate room. So then I use this gold cord that I got at Hobby Lobby. And I'm just measuring how long the hoops were on the back. And this cording, if you just wrap some, you know, regular Scotch tape around the end, then it won't unravel. So there I'm showing you what that gold cord is. Jim's just feeding that through the little hoops there. And then I grabbed, I was trying to figure out how, I didn't really want to knot. Again, I kind of have the glam look going in my dining room, so I didn't really want to knot. That's why I took off the twine. I really wanted the gold cording. And so here I just kind of glue the two sides together. Be very careful not to burn yourself. I didn't this time, thankfully. I usually do. I do that on both sides, and I do have a piece of, I just have a paper bag under it because that's our dining room table there. I don't want to get any glue on it. I have in the past, and I don't want to have to resand. I don't want to have to sand the table and restain it if I don't have to. And I had these little ornaments. They came from Dollar Tree, and they were separate snowflakes. And I made those a few years ago for my dining room. So I take a couple of those, and I just glue those on the cord there. So when they hang, they're right above the Merry Christmas. I really like that font for the Merry Christmas. That's why I bought it. I didn't like the color because black isn't my thing, but I really like the font. It's the same as I have a big sign like that outside. Now I got these flameless candles. They're like in a, I don't know, a gold colored jar, as you can see there. And they burn very, very prettily. This tray, I'm just using this as just as a tray in the center. I don't attach anything to it. I just simply use it as a tray and place all my decor on top. Now I had a couple of the white Christmas trees from previous years, so I pulled those out of the bag. And then I got a couple more. I think I used 4 in total. I might have used 5. But I'm just kind of angling those in the center of the candles, and then I just fluff. If you know anything about the Christmas trees, you know you just have to fluff and fluff and fluff. So I kind of do them like in an X pattern on the tray. They're hanging off the tray just a little bit, but that's okay. They don't have to, again, I'm not attaching anything to anything on this tray. It's just going to sit here. And you can kind of, if you're using them just one-sided this way, you can kind of fluff everything out to the front. I don't necessarily need them to stick straight up, but I'm just fluffing it like normal, and then I'll lay it down, and then I'll play with it and manipulate them a little bit later once I get some of the other picks and so forth in there with them. Again, I don't attach anything to the tray. This is all completely removable, reusable for other things later on. Sometimes I like to be able to reuse things, but sometimes you can't because you have to attach it. This centerpiece, I'm making it match. That's a swag that I made to hang from my chandelier. I made that a few years ago. So I'm trying to make sure that everything matches that. And this was a centerpiece I used last year, so I'm just taking some of the picks off of that. Some of the little balls. This one was a little too small. I just put this one on a charger plate, but this one was a little too small for my kitchen. So I'm just pulling out all the little picks that I'd used in the year before and, you know, leave it there. And then I had these ornaments I had gotten at Walmart. These are pink. I just love the shape of them. I thought they were really pretty, so I just kind of laid them in the middle there, sticking up. I liked how they looked. That's all that I can say about it. I just thought they were pretty. Then I got these picks from Hobby Lobby, and these are the exact same picks that I used in the swag that hangs from the chandelier right above. And I got 4 of them. I did buy those new this year. I didn't know that they would have them again, but I was glad they did because I didn't have any left over from when I made the swag. I did put those in there, so I wanted to incorporate the same florals, the same colors as in the swag because it's hanging directly above in the chandelier. And I'll show you that later. I made that also with some Dollar Tree white Christmas trees. Now these pink poinsettias, I believe I got those at Dollar Tree. In fact, I know I did. There's a tag right there. And I'm just using a couple of those. Again, not attaching anything. I don't like the green leaves that are on them. They just look kind of chintzy. So I just take those off. And because you're not attaching anything, you do have to kind of continue to manipulate. But without attaching, it's always good because you can kind of move everything around where you want it to be, as opposed to just like you've already glued it and now you're kind of stuck with it. I use these little pink picks. These look like ornaments, but they're actually little picks that I had used previously. I believe those came from Walmart or Dollar Tree. And then I used these little swirly picks that also came from there. These little mini ornament tags. I just placed those throughout. They were cute. They had pink and they said Merry Christmas and joy, and I just liked how they looked, so I just kind of laid those in. Then I had some extra of the little white pieces from something I had taken apart, and I just kind of laid those in the middle so that you can't see the stems of those Christmas trees meeting up. And then I use these gold picks. I'm not sure where I got these. Probably Hobby Lobby, I would assume, because they look like Hobby Lobby stuff. But I got them last year after Christmas. And I would tend to go after Christmas and shop. No, that's a Family Dollar tag there. And then here's how it looks in the end. To me, it looks gorgeous and beautiful, and I love how it turned out. So I got this table runner on clearance at Walmart. It's a lot longer than I want because I don't want it to hold the whole length of the table. I just want it to be a little bit longer than the tray, so that you can see it, but I don't want it to hang the whole distance of the table. We have a dog that sheds very badly, and if we had a table runner or a tablecloth that hung all the way down, it would just constantly be covered with dog hair. So I just laid this over, kind of guessed about how long I wanted it, laid it out, and then I have this beaded rhinestone ribbon. It's in rose gold, and I got that at Totally Dazzled. And I cut this a little bit longer than the runner on purpose so it could kind of hang off the end just a little bit. It just adds a little touch of sparkle, and you can use this on anything. I've used it for lots of different things, and it's very pretty, very shiny. Then I just slide that to the middle of the table there. And this is how it turned out with the table runners underneath. I like the layered look. That pink table runner was not a Christmas decor item, but because I have pink, it's hard to kind of really see all the glimmer in there on the rhinestone beads, but it's very pretty. And I still have all the other decorations still sitting on the table, so it's a little crowded right there, but you can see the general idea and the gold peeking through, and it looks really pretty when those candles are lit up at nighttime. I believe I have a clip of this of it lit up at night showing you too. And here's how my coffee bar turned out with the Merry Christmas sign and the snowflakes. And here's the centerpiece with most things cleared off except for the swag. It's sitting down there. And here's the swag hung in the middle of the chandelier that's in our dining room. And I just used some jewelry wire and wrapped around the bottom and then wrap it around up there. And it just goes perfectly with the centerpiece. Here it is lit up at night. I love the gold to those candles. It just looks really pretty. And we move into my front hallway. This is the front entryway where you come in the front door, the steps that go upstairs. I just kind of stage everything sitting right there on the steps for the time being, and I kind of work from there. I'm counting the spindles because we have swags that go on these. And I believe we have 3 of these. I could only find 2 of them this year, so I believe the spacing was a little different. I think I still have some bins of Christmas stuff down in the basement. I just use zip ties to attach these. These do have a battery pack because they light up. So I make sure I clamp it to where I can still reach the battery pack. They do have a timer. I did not make these. These were something that my mother-in-law had, and I think they're very pretty. They're red and gold. I mean, they're green with red and gold. And so the whole front hall is red and green and gold. And so I'm just using 2 zip ties each to hang these up on the spindles. And again, I'm just counting the spindles to make sure that I get it where I want it to be. And then I use some zip ties and I just kind of shove them through the piece there. And I just, attach them. I make sure they stay up where they're supposed to stay. But I want to make sure that they don't impede the handrail. That's why I don't use a garland, because we have people who need a little bit of to need the handrail to get up the steps. So, excuse me, I'm so sorry for coughing. Alright, so once those are up there, I just kind of fluffed them, gave them a good fluffing because they had been in a box all year. But I like these at night. These light up, and these are on a timer. So I've got this plant stand that sits in the front hall, and I used this 4-foot Christmas tree. Last year I got this at Five Below. I believe Dollar Tree Plus has these 4-foot Christmas trees this year. But I bought this one to make like a poinsettia tree in our front hallway. And I'm just using zip ties. There's not a solid bottom to this. So I'm just using the holes in the legs there, and I'm zip tying it to the little rails that are there, and just making sure it's secure. We don't have a huge entryway, so you can't do too much here, but I did want to add some color. The gold, the red, and the green, it just looks really pretty. So that, of course, you got to fluff the tree because it's been in a box all year. I don't really worry too much about fluffing the back. It is going into that little corner back there, and I want it to sit pretty far into that corner so it doesn't get bumped and knocked down. So there it is. I kind of have to re-fluff the top once I get it into the corner. It looked a little crooked. But then I just have poinsettias that I've used in the past. Some of the big bunches I put up at the top for some fuller, poinsettias. Then I've cut all the stems, and I have a bag that I've used the last few years of poinsettias, and I just place them around the tree. And then I have some gold picks that I put in there too. And we have dogs, so we can't keep live poinsettias in the house because they're poisonous to animals. They can really harm them. So, and poinsettias are just beautiful flowers that look beautiful at Christmas. And so I wanted to have this little poinsettia tree up here in the front hall. When you come down the steps in the morning, from our bedrooms are all upstairs, you come down the steps, you just see this bright pop of red and Christmassy, and I just love it. And again, not attaching anything, just like I did on the dining room table. These, I just left a pretty decent stem on these poinsettias, and then I just stick them into the tree until I think it looks good. Then I use these little gold picks that I've gotten Hobby Lobby, Walmart in the past. They just look like a stick with some little gold balls down the stem, and I'm just placing them throughout. Had to kind of rearrange a little bit there to get a little bit more, and that kind of left a hole, so I do fill that up. In just a minute I grab some more poinsettias to go in there, but I just kind of stick the gold wherever. I stick a few in the top, and these picks had, I think, 4 or 5. The top one that I left, the whole pick, the rest I just attached in previous years when I'd used these same things. I just use Ziploc baggies for all these picks. When I take anything down, they go into a Ziploc baggie, all the gold in one, all the red flowers in one, all the greenery in one, and then the next year I just pull out my little baggies and I just decorate. Sometimes it looks the same as it did the year before. This poinsettia tree has been a few years in the making there. I've done that for a few years now. Here past the stairwell, the stair rail, I have a wreath that I made a few years ago to match the red and gold. It's just a simple Walmart wreath that I just decorated a few years ago, and I hang it here with the command hook. And I'm going to show you how those look there, and then how the wreath looks, and how they look down that little hallway there. And all of these light up at night. I did do a red, like a little tablecloth. It was like I don't know what it was, a little piece of material that I had, and I wrapped it around the bottom of that. And then we have a little shelf here, and I painted this nativity gold, and I made that little arrangement. Here's the wreath on our front door. Another little picture of that little bitty shelf. It's very narrow. It does not deep at all. So you have to be really careful what you put here, because it will get knocked over. People come in the front door holding stuff, and this little shelf, if you have glass there, it will get broken. So, and just a couple of overview looks of how everything turned out in the front hallway. And then I have some pictures of everything lit up at night as well. This wreath is one, like I said, I made it a few years ago. Here it is lit up at night. These again are on timers, so I don't have to do anything. They just all come on every night and turn off every night, which is like, wow. This is our back sunroom, and I didn't show me decorating it, but I just loved how it glowed. We do have a Christmas tree back there as well. On this side, see, there's the Christmas tree. And I just love how it glows. It goes out into the backyard, and I just love it.
Well, I hope that you have a wonderful Christmas, that you and your family enjoy these blessed holiday seasons, and just remember the true reason for the season, and let's just take some time this holiday season to enjoy everything that God has given to us. I hope you have a blessed day.